Hello, dog lover. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. In this live video, I'm going to try to answer your dog related questions as well as give you some updates and information about any new things that are happening on the channel and also everything that is happening in dog world. Hope you're doing well. Hope you everything is going well with your life and your dogs as well. Uh, so today, my goal is to help you to become an educated dog lover. And the way I offer this information is using a unique method of dog training, which is using play and praise reward system rather than using um, food or treats or aversive tools or anything that causes harm or discomfort in your dog. We have Cipher the protogen. Protagon is in the house. Hello, Sarah, saying thank you for being here. Uh, if you're new here and if you're new to the channel, or also maybe you are one of those members of the channel, I just wanted to give you some updates of what is going on with the content and the channel itself before we get started on the show itself. So I'm going to go live, at least for the time being, every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this time would be every week. Instead of twice a week, we just go once a week on Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If anything changes, I'll update you as well. But for now, that's the schedule that I have set it up to, that it's working for me to go on live every week on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is, I believe, is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also going to post 2 videos per week on Wednesdays and Sundays, which are going to be uploaded at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time again. 6 a.m. every Wednesday and Sunday, there will be a new video. Speaking of new video, I want you to make sure to watch the video that is coming up on Wednesday, September the 16th at 6 a.m. It's a fascinating conversation that I have with, I'm not going to reveal her or his name, but it's a interview that I did with a so-called dog trainer. She's not a dog trainer. She or he is not a dog trainer. It's a fascinating conversation. You're going to benefit from this conversation and interview that I've done. It's going to be in few segments. Every week we're going to go through some parts of this conversation that I had, and you're going to learn a lot. So I highly invite you to make sure to watch those videos as well. So that would be on Wednesday. And also this Sunday, we'll be continuing on the series that I have created about the basics of dog training and what you need to know. We are going to watch the part 4 of this series. It's all about the basics of dog training that every dog owner needs to know. I hope you've been watching. If you haven't watched, go ahead and check out the channel, on my channel, and I'm gonna try to share the the link to this video series. Let me just I'm gonna share the link to this video series in the chat area. I'm gonna call it Dog Training Basics. Go ahead and watch, because many of you are new to dogs and dog training in general, and this gives you an idea of when to start training your dog, where to start training your dog, how do you start training your dog, what tools do you need to use, how often should you train your dog, what method to use, and how to train your dog in general. Especially if you are a beagle owner, this is a must. Everybody needs to watch this video series. So definitely check those out. Um, all right, let me see what's going on in the chat area. Many are joining the live session. Apex Gaming is here. Thank you for being here. Saying hi. Ghost Hunter is here. And today I'm gonna try to answer as many questions as possible. If you definitely want and need that your questions to be answered, make sure to use the super chat option. That way you're also guaranteeing that not only your question will be answered, but also you're supporting the channel. I'm going to skim through the questionnaires today. I'm going to pick the questions that need good answer to be given. I'm going to go through those questions. But if you really want me to answer your question, whatever it is, make sure to use the super chat option. It's just that there are too many questions coming, and there are some of the questions we've talked about them a lot, and I don't want to keep repeating myself. And I'm gonna skim through the questions, and I'll be selecting the ones that they really need answers. All right, let's start with Lakevo. Do your dog hide when it's scared? Yes, dogs, they do hide. It's a natural behavior, normal behavior for dogs to hide. It usually happens when they hear loud noises or things that scares them in general. For example, my dog is scared of flies. He's okay with fireworks, vacuum cleaner, everything else, but scared of flies. So flies bother him, so he goes and hides wherever he can. Most dogs, they would be scared of fireworks, so it's common that they would be hiding. We have Omar saying hi. Thank you for being here, Omar. And Omar is saying, I was the one who was chatting with you on Instagram. I remember that. All right. Let's answer this question. Apex Gaming is asking, I have a dog and he's not listening to me anytime, does not answer when I call his name. Well, there are several reasons that happens. The main reason is that your dog hasn't learned what really it means when you call his name and you tell him to come or something. So it doesn't relate or connect the wording. The word, it doesn't mean anything to the dog because you haven't practiced probably enough with your dog. And most of the time, most dog owners, what they do, they only so-called practice commands or training when the dog is doing some unwanted behavior. Let's say you only call your dog to come when your dog is running away or not listening to you, or is playing with another dog or doing something and it's not focused on you at all. That's the only time you're calling your dog to come, for in this case. And that's not enough for the dog to learn what come or recall command is. It doesn't have the opportunity to learn because it's so focused on whatever it's doing. either is running away or playing with another dog, or having a good time, having fun, and that's the only time you're calling it to come to you. So if that's the only time that you're not going to get results. That's why you don't get results, because your dog needs to learn exactly what the word, for example, rover come means, right? And the only way that you can do that is to dedicate specific time and place to start to teach this to your dog. So training is one of the things that you have to start focusing on, and you have to be paying attention to teaching this command or any command to your dog in that environment for a period of time. I would say a month or 2 or 3, and then expect for your dog to listen to you or pay attention to you or reply to your command, right? That's one reason. I think the main reason, that's the reason why your dog is not listening to you or is not coming to you, because you haven't dedicated enough time to teach your dog what it means, what you want it to do, and how you want it to react when your dog hears that word. For example, if you're saying rover come, when you're saying rover come, your dog has to connect, when I hear this word or these words, I have to do this. So if there is no connection in that case for your dog, you won't get results. And don't just call your dog when your dog is playing, for example, with another dog. It's so focused on playing with another dog that it can't listen. It can't hear you, first of all. Literally, they can't hear you when you're calling it to come. Or when it's having a good time, don't call your dog to come, and then if it doesn't listen, chase it and then grab it and then put the leash on and get upset and angry and then leave the park or whatever. That also doesn't work well, because then your dog says, whenever my owner calls me and I go to it, it gets upset and then put the leash on and takes me home. So that's a negative form of learning as well. So there are many things that you need to do. So you need to start training your dog. Training your dog is dedicating a focused training time, 15 minutes a day, not only to teach the command of come or just that only. It's you have to teach your dog basic obedience. You don't just teach your dog come command or recall command. You have to teach all the basics to your dog, and you have to dedicate a time and space to train your dog. Hopefully that answered your question. Aryan is in the house. Aryan saying, I purchased your puppy training class. It is so helpful. Thanks. Could you give more practical tips about potty training and what age to start a beagle to potty? That is awesome, Aryan. I'm so happy that you have joined our puppy training course, and you're getting good results out of it. And all of my students who are joining my courses are welcome to come to the live show as well every week and ask questions, get involved. Also, I do private chats and emails and consultation as well with my students, but I also have, which are free, but I also have free consultation and virtual training sessions as well that you can join. I'll have the details in the description of this video. You can go ahead and learn more, but that option is also available. If you have any issue with your dog or puppy and you need a more focused, concentrated help and consultation and training with your puppy or your dog, you can use this option, which is called virtual training and consultation session. The information would be in the description. Now, back to your question, you needed more practical tips about potty training and what age to start a beagle to potty. Um, I'll give you a kind of a bullet style information. So first of all, you don't want to use potty pads, potty pads to train your puppy to do its business on those pee pads in the house. That's a no-no. It just doesn't work well, and it just confuses the dog. For a puppy, they need to learn that they need to do their business outside of the house. You don't want to allow your puppy or your dog to learn to do its business inside of the house. Dogs in general, they're clean animals when it comes to this part of their lifestyle. They don't want to do their business inside of the house. They want to separate their business from their place that they're living from outside. The reason they want to do it outside, one of the other reasons they want to do it outside, is because dogs, pee, and if they pee and poo, is also kind of marking. They're leaving a message for another dog. Even if they're pooping, they're leaving a message to other dogs. And it's very important to allow your dog or your puppy to practice that and do that. Because other dogs come and read those messages, your marks that your dog or puppy has left, and they get a lot of information, a lot of input. So it's a natural behavior that you want to allow your puppy or your dog to practice that. So it's very important to let your puppy or your dog to do its business outside of the house. And when you let your puppy or dog to do its business outside, the way you train it is every 2 hours. If you have a puppy, you just take your puppy outside and let it do its business. If it does well, great. If it doesn't, just bring it back home, try it in 10-15 minutes, go back outside, let it do its business. The first few days of potty training, I would say the first 48 hours to 3 days is the most crucial and critical and important parts of potty training. If you focus on that 2 or 3 days, your puppy is going to be potty trained. Second thing that I usually suggest dog owners to focus on is, I just posted a video on my channel as well, is the diet. The diet is very effective form of having successful or unsuccessful potty training regime. What that means is, just think of it this way: what it goes in has to come out somehow, right? So if it goes in a way that doesn't sit well with your puppy's system or your dog's system, it will cause complications and difficulties for the puppy to adjust its system to do its business in general. And it will not only will cause complication, but it will cause also health issues to develop. So you want to feed your dog proper diet. In my opinion, you should be feeding your dog fresh food. Fresh food is either homemade, home-cooked diet or raw diet. If you feed fresh food to your dog is going to have an easier time to adjust its bowel movement and also its peeing routine. Because if you feed your dog or puppy kibble or dry food, your dog has no choice but drink a lot of water, first of all, because dry food is dry, kibble is dry. It forces the dogs to drink a lot of water. Therefore, they need to pee more often, which is unnatural, and it will not only drive you crazy because they're going to have, they're going to have always full bladder all the time. They're going to pee all the time. So you're going to lose the battle all the time because you can't catch up with their bowel movements. And also, they're going to poop a lot because kibble is full of fillers. What that means is a lot of stuff goes in and a lot of stuff has to come out. The body doesn't get the opportunity to absorb all the nutrients that it needs to get from the food, so it has to come out. So therefore, your dog is going to be peeing a lot and pooping a lot. So changing the diet is one of the simplest things that you can do in order to help you win the battle of potty training your puppy or your dog. So food, diet is very crucial, important. Having a routine, taking the dog every 2 hours, whether your dog is on kibble or not, you have to create a routine and let your puppy to go out every 2 hours to relieve itself. Puppies, they can't really tell you that they need to go. So if they feel like it and if it's happening, they just go, and accidents happen. So therefore, you want to make sure that you're following those. And hopefully, these 2 tips, I think, will make it easier. So if you follow those 2 tips that I just mentioned, I think you're going to have a easy time. Many of my students and many of my viewers actually as well, they have done this. They just changed their puppy's diet to fresh food, which means, basically a little bit of meat, a little bit of vegetables. That's all you're basically starting to feed your dog. As soon as you start feeding fresh food, the over drinking stops, the over pooping stops, right? And also you start making your dog to live healthier lives, to start living a healthy life. So Aryan, thank you for the question. Hopefully that helped, and you can get started on getting done with potty training. Apex is asking, how long should I train my dog every day? You should be training 15 minutes minimum and half an hour maximum. 5 minutes is not enough. 10 minutes, 5 minutes is too short. 10 minutes is not enough. 15 minutes is ideal. The reason I say 15 minutes, because within 15 minutes, you have an opportunity to input some information in your dog. Shorter than that, there's not enough time to get those information to your dog. Now, if you go over 15 minutes and you go up to half an hour a day, that's good. That's even better. But don't go over half an hour, because then it becomes too much. So you don't want to train your dog too little or too much. The ideal amount of time that you want to focus on training your dog depends on your dog and how you get results, and how your dog is responding to your training. So 15 minutes to half an hour is approximately the ideal amount of time that you need to train. So there are days, for example, myself, I train Annie. I would say 15 minutes. I see that she's done within 15 minutes. And there are days that I train her 20 minutes, 25 minutes, right? It just depends on the day, what we're working on, how we're doing, and how things are going. All right, so I'm going to go to the next question. I'm just going to skim through the questionnaires. And again, as I said, if you really need your question to be answered, please use the super chat option You're going to see the super chat icon on the chat area. You can use that. I will definitely answer those questions as well. Plus, it helps you to support the channel as well. Otherwise, I'm going to just pick the questions that I think they're ideal to answer. Apex has a follow-up question. What command should I teach my dog to not run away from the house? If you have a dog who's running away from the house, that means there are a few things that are happening. One is that you're not stimulating your dog enough mentally and physically, so therefore your dog chooses to run away from the house. So if you provide enough mental and physical stimulation, uh, they won't even feel like going out or running out, right? And it's not the commands. Commands are part of the solutions, right? But it's not just the commands. Is training your dog every day for 15 minutes to half an hour a day, starting from the basics and going to the all the other levels. So what I mean by that is investing time to train your dog is one of the options, right? One of the parts of getting results. You need to provide your dog's daily 5 essential needs. What are those? They are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. So training is part of it, but it's not the whole solution. So training commands is part of the solution, it's not the whole solution. So you need to provide enough exercise for your dog. That is the physical part of your dog's daily need, and you need to focus on about 30% of the stimulation has to come from exercise, physical exercise, playing, running around, going for walks, and things like that. The next one is training, which is the 70% of daily stimulation. And this is mental stimulation. What that means is you need to stimulate your dog mentally as well. So training, even though you're just focusing on to train your dog 15 minutes to half an hour, that 15 minutes, half an hour is so crucial, so effective, so beneficial that it drains your dog's energy as well. So the dogs who are running away from the house is mainly because they're lacking exercise and training, physical and mental stimulation. 30% exercise, 70% training, physical and mental stimulation. Then you need to provide socialization, care, and also affection. But you need to provide them on daily basis in this order. So the commands that you need to teach your dog are you start with sit, and then you start with stay, and then you start with come, which is recall command, and then you follow up with heel, stand, and then down. These are the things that you need to teach. These are the commands that you need to teach every dog. We need to focus on teaching any dog those commands. And if you want to learn how do you teach those commands to your dog, and how do you get started on training your dog, you join one of my online courses. So in your case, you want to go with this one, which is basic obedience and more without the use of treats. So I call it the naked dog training. The reason I call it naked dog training is because we're not using any food, treats, gadgets, tools to train our dogs. So this is the course that you want to focus on if you have a dog who's 6 to 8 months and older. If you have a puppy who's up to 6 to 8 months, you want to focus on you registering to this course, Puppy Training 101. So those are the courses that are available for you to join and start to train your dog. Apex. I hope Apex Gaming. Yes. So I hope I answered your question. You are very welcome. We have Teresa McCarter in the house. Thank you for being here, Teresa. Some time ago, I said on public command, highly encourage everyone enroll in your classes. Not only do they provide very needful information, fills in blanket for those who only do live videos. Yes, thank you very much, Teresa. That is a great feedback to get from one of my students, actually. So far, I see that there are 2 or 3 of my students are on live show, which is great. And Teresa, thank you for being here and giving this feedback. So that's great feedback as well. My puppy is loving the raw food. She spins around and is very excited when the ball comes out. That's the benefit of feeding your dog fresh food, or in this case, raw food. They love it. That's so natural diet that they love it. They will enjoy eating it. You will see most of the time when you're feeding your dog kibble or dry food, they're not really passionate about eating their food. They may eat it because they're hungry, but when you feed them raw food, clean, fresh food, they really enjoy it and they really love it, and they just celebrate physically and emotionally and mentally. By the way, this live show is going to be until 10 a.m. So make sure you get your questions coming, because I'm only answering those questions that are suitable. All right. This is a good question, I think. I'll answer this, Ariana. I was on a trip 10 days, and my 3-month-old beagle was gone for 2 weeks from home. He was potty trained, but now he's peeing everywhere. So you hear dogs on the background. I have a doggy daycare, so we have dogs coming and going, and lots of things are happening in the background. But that's the thing about live show. You never know what you're going to get. So I try to have a clean, quiet background, but if you're running a doggy daycare, it's not possible. So this is the interesting thing that has happened. So your dog ran away, I think was gone for 2 weeks, and now he's back home and is peeing everywhere. So this is a sign that your dog is stressed. And also, it's a sign that your beagle is kind of pissed, right? Is not happy with you that you left him for 10 days, and it's telling you that it's stressed. It got stressed. It didn't like it, probably because it wasn't at home, and also because you were not home and things changed. So it gets stressed and is peeing everywhere to tell you that it's stressed. Now, how do you help a 3-month-old beagle to distress? What you do is, again, as usual, I want you to focus on providing your puppy's daily 5 essential needs. Focus on this. This is how dogs tell me, why is it that my dog is misbehaving or doing this or that? The main reason is because they're stressed. They're anxious, they're confused, and all this causes them to become stressed. And The reason they're stressed is because they're not getting their daily 5 essential needs. And they are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. And you have to provide these every day in this order to help your dog to not only not to get stressed, but to distress them too. So if you think that your dog is stressed, your puppy is stressed, figure out which one of these you're not providing, right? First of all, which one of these you're not providing, or are you providing all these in this order, and are you providing them properly? So are you providing enough exercise for your puppy? Are you providing enough training for your puppy? Are you providing enough socialization or care or proper amount of affection? Are you over exercising your puppy? Are you under exercising your puppy? Are you sharing a lot of affection? Are you sharing too little affection? All these things you have to figure out and provide them. So if you provide all that, properly for your puppy, the this you'll be able to help your puppy to distress. Okay, so just don't get pissed at your puppy that is peeing everywhere. Is just having a conversation with you, is telling you how it feels, how it felt, and how it feels, and is telling you that you need to help it. So it's just asking for help. Okay, hope that answers your question. We have Neil Mehta. Neil Mehta, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time for joining the live show. And you're saying that please make a playlist on training puppies without treats. And also, I saw one of your videos, and I loved it. Thanks a lot. I have a 2-month-old golden retriever. Oh my goodness, golden retrievers are super cute dogs. To answer your question about the playlist on training puppies without treats, I have one. And I'm going to share it on the chat line. Yes, this is one. So you can either watch all of the videos that I'm going to share in the chat line and the link. You can watch all of them. I invite you to watch all of them, but you can pick and choose which ones you want to watch. I'm going to call it Puppy Training Playlist. So it would be on the chat line now, the link. Go. I have it actually. So I have a playlist of how to train puppies without treats. And that's my puppy, and I'm training her without treats. Annie. I trained Annie without treats. So you can go ahead and watch that playlist. As I said, you can watch all of them. I invite you to watch all of them. If not, you can pick and choose which videos to watch. I love the conversation that is going on in the chat line between dog lovers. Keep doing that. Keep going. That's lovely. We have another feedback from Avanish. Thank you for being here. Sir, thank you for these videos. You are very interactive, and my beagle is getting trained so well because of you. Oh, that is awesome. That is great. Thank you for that feedback, and I appreciate the time that you took to come to the live show and also share this feedback. It means a lot to me. And, if I could help and change one beagle owner's concept and idea and mentality about training their puppy or their dog that itself is the biggest payoff. And I appreciate you, and you made my day with this comment itself, and I really appreciate that. Okay. We have people from UK, India. Avanish is asking, what is the best way to show my puppy love? The best way, this is a great question, and I'm going to expand on that a little bit more. Let me just get my things ready. So the best way that you can show your puppy that you love it is by providing its daily 5 essential needs. This is very important. I want you to really focus on this and understand this. The reason I say that is because the reason I say you need to provide these 5 essential needs is because puppies and dogs, they have certain needs that you need to, as a human being who is taking that step to go and bring a puppy or dog to our home, and we are in complete control of that puppy or dog, then we need to focus on and pay attention to what we need to provide for this puppy or this individual, this dog, right? So you need to focus on providing their daily needs. For example, think of it this way. You yourself, what do you need to be healthy, happy, and kind of in good mood every day in order for you to function as a human being? What do you need? We all need our food, bed, our cell phone, our computers, our coffee, or our glass of wine, or we need our cars, our gadgets, our friends, our loved ones, our family. We need to watch videos. We need to get entertained. We need to have love and affections and all these things in order to be happy and be able to function properly every day. Now, dogs on the other hand, they don't really need gadgets and things, objects. What they need is more of providing their essential needs. I call them essential needs because these are things that a puppy or a dog needs. And if you provide these essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection on daily basis, every day, your dog or your puppy is going to love you like no one else. That's one part of the solution, providing your puppies or dogs daily 5 essential needs. If you provide these, because it involves physical, mental stimulation, social stimulation, you caring for your dog, you're feeding your puppy, you're brushing it, you're taking care of it, and then you're sharing affection. So if you provide all these, if you provide this formula, your puppy has no choice but to love you. Now, if you want to even increase that option, and if you want to add a little bit more power to that, this is the tip it's a secret tip that I haven't shared with many dog owners. If you want to make your puppy to fall in love with you, here's the secret. Are you ready? For the first month to 3 months, preferably 3 months, spend every moment of those times with your puppy. That's the trick. That's the tip that I can share in here. Spend every moment 24/7 with your puppy for the first month, preferably 3 months, and you're going to get the best results. Your puppy is going to fall in love with you like no other. That's the trick. So yeah, it's a good question, and I love answering it too. I always love to talk about this topic. We have a question from Cypher. What raw meat flavor is the best? Well, you can feed any raw meat except pork, I would say. Pork doesn't digest well with dogs. Any flavor. I mean, the more um, exotic you get, the better. So chicken, beef, and turkey, all those are basic standards, anyways. But if you could go to pheasant, rabbit, and kangaroos, and all those exotic meats, even better. Yeah, any flavor, I would say, any meat, as long as it is not pork, that would be okay. A great question from Tech Team. Hi, sir. My name is Wipol, I believe. We are getting female beagle puppy, 6 months old. How we should care for her for first 2 weeks as we are first time getting pet. First of all, you're getting your puppy at 6 weeks old, which is very early. I highly recommend you not to get it at that age. Your puppy needs to stay in with his or her um, mom, parents, and brothers and sisters a little bit longer than that, up to 12 weeks. If your if your puppy's environment or the breeder is good, and the environment is good, and it's not one of those puppy meals, let your puppy stay there up to 12 weeks and then pick it up. It's very crucial not to pick up the puppy at that, first of all, at that age, 6 weeks old. And second of all, it's very crucial for the puppy to stay up to 12 weeks because they need those those interactions and those uh, things that happen naturally between among the siblings and the parents. Happens a lot of good things happen socially and mentally and physically, a lot of, and also health wise. Your that puppy needs a lot of things to get from the puppy's mom that makes a big difference in long term, short term, and also long term of a puppy's life, mentally, physically, emotionally. A lot of things happen, so you want to make sure that you don't pick it up too early. That would be my first tip. Just make sure that you can keep that puppy a little bit longer with the breeder or wherever you're picking up the puppy. Don't pick it up at 6 weeks old. That is too early, way too early. And the first 2 weeks, what are you supposed to do is just, you're not doing anything. You're raising that puppy. You're not training that puppy, or you're not doing anything. You're raising a puppy. You're raising a baby, basically. It's not a human baby, but it's a baby that you're raising it. So you want to focus on learning how to raise a baby, how to raise a beagle puppy, right? So one of the things that you should do is house what you call puppy proof the house that your puppy is going to stay. Don't give the whole house to your puppy. Create an area that you can keep your puppy there. Have a crate, leash, collar, football, and water ball, chew toys, proper diet set up prepared, and just make sure that you're raising your puppy properly. That's your goal. You're not doing anything but raising a puppy for the first 4 to 6 months. It's not that after that you don't raise them. It's just after 4 to 6 months, it's now you are in routine and they're bigger and they're all the senses are active and going, so you can be a little bit more relaxed. But if you want to learn more how to raise your puppy, what I would suggest you to do is, yes, watch the video link that I shared in the chat area. It's called Puppy Training Playlist. That's the one that you want to watch as well, because I share a lot of information of how to raise a puppy as well in that video series. So yes, go ahead and watch that. Hope that answers your question. Neil is asking how to take your course and is it online? It is online. The way you do is you just go to my, I can share here. I'll give you some information. You can just go to the link that I shared. It's called Online Courses. Just go ahead there and just pick the course that you want, register. You have to pay, obviously. You pay, and then you start getting the content right away, and you get started. And what happens is it is online, but I'm available 24/7. If you have any questions or any problems, you can contact me 24/7. I help you. Not many of my students use this because the course is so complete and so easy to take that not many of my students use that options. You can join my private Facebook group where you can interact with me as well. You get 3 private 30-minute sessions with me as well throughout the next year that you can come and talk to me, and I'll help you a lot of information. So the biggest part of the online courses that I have, it's not only the content that I provide online, is the support that I offer. The support is very important because anybody can register for a course, but the support it backs you up and it gives you a lot of support and also help to continue on working on whatever issue you have, puppy training or adult training or leash walking, or you want to learn what you need to provide your dog. I have, all those information are on the website that you can join. It's sarodogtraining.com/courses. And I have the link in the chat area. So it is online, but the best thing is that many of my students are coming from all over the world. I have students from Sweden, from India, I have students from Canada, Germany, Philippines, from all over the world. There's so many countries that I have students from. So you can join and learn more on the course itself. We have a feedback from Neil. Please keep on making these live streams. I'm just very happy that I found you. Thank you. Appreciate your effort. You are very welcome. I'm glad that you're benefiting from this, and I know many people need this, and that's why I'm here to help you and give you support and help you the help that you need, the information that you need. Also, so many of your training videos, and I'm going to try that. Next week we're getting her when she will be 6 weeks. Yes, tech team. I know Vipol Whipple, please consider not getting it too early, not 6 weeks old. All right, we have only 5 minutes left. I'm going to answer one more question, and that would be it for today. Again, in general, in every time you're joining my live show, if you really need your questions to be answered, make sure to use the super chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick the questions that I feel that it needs help. And we have one or two questions I'll try to squeeze in the leftover time. So, Neil, I understand this question. I understand the situation. You're wondering, can you feed your puppy vegetarian food? I have a family of 7 people, and we all eat vegetarian food, so it's very difficult to feed him non-veg food. Unfortunately, especially puppies, you cannot just feed them vegetarian diet. There's so much. They are not vegetarian animals. Beagles and dogs in general, they're not vegetarian animals, unfortunately. Now, there is this controversy about whether humans should be vegetarians or not. I don't disagree with that. It's a choice that you can make to become a vegetarian or non-vegetarian. That's a choice a human can make and decide whether they want to eat meat or not. But dogs, they don't have that choice. They can't make a choice. The only choice of diet for them is non-vegetarian. They have to have meat. It's not that they only eat meat, but 75% of their diet consists of meat, and only 25% is vegetables. So you cannot force a dog to eat a diet that you're comfortable with. You have to feed your dog what we call it is species appropriate diet. As a human species, we can eat variety of diets. An alligator cannot be vegetarian. Alligator as a species needs to eat meat only, right? And a bird eats grains and things like that, right? That's a species appropriate diet for a bird. A dog is supposed to eat both some vegetables and a lot of meat. That's the species appropriate diet for a dog. So every species has to be fed appropriate diet for them. Now, humans have that adaptability of having variety of diets, species diet. Meat, vegetables, no meat, no, they go vegan, they go paleo, all kinds of diets we can eat, right? And I'm not saying that they're all wrong or right. What I'm saying is we humans can adapt to it. Sometimes we get good results out of these diets, and sometimes we don't. But when it comes to your dog, they can't have vegetarian diet. You can't feed, especially a puppy, vegetarian diet. Puppies are growing, are developing. They need a lot of nutrients from the meat that they can get. They have to get it. And unfortunately, I have to say no. Vegetarian doesn't work for a dog. You have to sacrifice whatever your belief is, whatever it is, and you have to feed your dog meat. Okay, your puppy has to have meat. If you are not comfortable to feed your dog meat, I suggest you to either buy kibble that has meat. At least this is the only case that I would suggest feeding kibble, even though it's not appropriate diet for the dog, but at least your puppy gets some form of meat diet in its diet, meat in its diet, and it gives you an option also to not to deal with the idea of feeding meat to your dog, unfortunately. All right, so that's all the time we have today. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed this session. I will be back next week on Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, to answer your dog related questions. If you enjoyed this show, give it a like, share, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next videos or if I go live. Until next time, have fun with your dog.